that's the whole format, the whole point of a hot hatch. Emphasis on the hot. Yeah. Oh, it's cool. Look at it. It's so much fun.
Here we go. I feel like it is time to do a video, a proper video on the 2017 Honda Civic Type R. I collected this car on Monday and have since done around 300 miles, both motorway, country miles. I've sat in traffic with this manual gearbox and I feel like I am now ready to do a full video about how this car drives and how I feel like that is the best car that you can buy for £34,000. But to kick the video off, I want to start with a throwback to when I was around 15 years old playing Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. Two of the greatest games that have ever existed on PlayStation, and I spent all of my hard-earned money from winning street races on souping up the cars that sat in my garage, making them as fast as possible and making them look as crazy as possible. Fast forward 2 years on to when I was 17 years old, had just passed my driving test, was driving around in my mum's 2004 Ford Focus. Incredibly inexperienced, incredibly naive, and a very, very nervous driver as I was getting miles underneath my belt. The one type of driver that I was always on the lookout for around the Watford roads were boy racers. People that had actually taken their cars from Need for Speed Underground and made them into real life and actually treated some of the roads around Watford as racetracks. I always felt that they were pushing those cars way over the limit of their own driving skill, but also of their car's capabilities. Now, one of the very popular cars for these Watford boy racers was the Honda Civic Type R. So I immediately categorized and prejudged the drivers and the cars as boy racers and cars that were tuned and souped up to way beyond the car's potential. And I always felt every time I saw one of them go round a roundabout that they were going to spin off, understeer and crash. However, having now covered over 300 miles in this new car, a car that has been so well regarded online as an amazing driving experience, I can now understand that the drivers behind these Civic Type R's early days when I was 17, 18, 19 years old were actually probably only using 30 to 40% of the car's capabilities. Now with the 2017 Honda Civic Type R, a car that directly rivals the Ford Focus RS, that sits so highly in my driving experiences having driven that on the Stelvio Pass, I kind of feel like that car really gives it a run for its money. Now I'm going to bring someone into the video that hasn't experienced the Honda brand in over 15 years.
It's no exaggeration. I was just thinking, when was the last time I even sat in a Honda? And it's not like a conscious choice. My grandma had one, and she used to pick me up from school on occasion. I mean, literally, that's my most recent memory of being in a Honda. Things have changed.
Things have changed.
It looks like they've taken a hot hatch and smashed it through a manga movie. It's so eccentric.
We're trying to work out whether it's actually a hot hatch. The wing is ridiculous. Everything about this car aesthetically splits opinions, but the one thing that seems to have a general consensus online is this thing is a proper driver's car.
Well, I haven't experienced it yet.
No, I mean, we've driven 1 minute down the road and I proper cruised in comfort.
But since I knew you were getting your hands on one, I did some light reading into it, and it reads well.
Yeah.
People are like, this thing's a weapon.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Let's go. Let's just go
let's do it.
and smash my foot on the right pedal and never let off. Let's get these GoPros on and we'll be good to go. R+ on.
I'm fascinated. There's not many brands I haven't experienced.
This is 317 brake horsepower.
That's not hanging around.
No. 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds, and it holds a Nürburgring record. And I don't know what that is, but it holds one.
It's typically for going fast in its category.
Exactly.
So is it a hot hatch? Or is it...
Yeah, it's difficult
What is
because
this?
the size of it is bigger than a hatchback.
That's what I mean.
But anyway, let's go.
Yeah. So it's front wheel drive only then?
Well, yep.
Feels like there's some torque steer there. Hey, it doesn't hang about.
Nope. It doesn't hang about.
I like the energetic skips that it has over bumps, how it loses a little bit of traction, spins up, hooks up again and then flirts you off. all of that happens in like a split second, but it feels engaging.
The steering on this, and I know that you can't experience it, but the steering on this is bang on. In R+,
really direct?
It's really direct, but the weight of it, I love the weight of it, and for me that's such a big thing with all of this electric power steering.
Yeah, so this is a fully electric rack then. In R+, it changes the whole feel of it?
Yeah. So you can go into comfort and then like
it goes all light?
Yeah,
like
it's light,
town
but it's
mode.
not that light.
Okay, cool.
So, I think it's better than what the Audis do anyway.
A short throw box?
Yeah. Rev matching auto.
I was going to say, that sounded like a delightful heel and toe, but then I realised I was sat with Paul Wallace. It was like, if it's a manual, I don't want to know.
You hear that?
Yeah.
But when you're in there.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Do you not
it's
feel
good.
Like you're
it
in
goes.
a rally car?
Yeah.
No idea where I'm going.
I think that's the whole format and the whole point of a hot hatch. Emphasis on the hot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, look at it. It's so much fun.
I'm loving this car. Like, I just didn't really know what to make of it when it came out of Geneva.
Sure.
I said to Honda, I would love to drive a Civic Type R on the road, just to understand. Like right now, look at these roads. It's like
road's
it's a
wicked.
rally stage.
Wow. Do you know it's got some torque? It pulls.
Yeah. Even on the low end as well.
What does it rev to? Or more importantly, what revs do you feel like it tops out and gets light?
Like 7,000? I don't know. Like I'm looking down. Actually, bang on 7,000.
So revs to 7, and do you find it pulls all the way to 7, or does it start becoming a bit hollow towards the top?
Yeah, I just had the sort of flashing lights come
The
up.
shift indicator.
Yeah, it was like
come
shift
up.
now, shift now.
That's cool.
Whilst it's got the wackiest styling I think anyone has ever produced straight from a factory.
Ludicrous.
If you put this in an all black stealthed out look, it would look
rad.
Really mean. I think the blue is a really nice colour, but it accentuates some of the lines that maybe might look better hidden. But this car, like the way this thing looks, splits opinions so much that Twitter erupted when I posted a picture of it. It was like thumbs up or thumbs down.
It's a 50-50.
Proper 50-50. Oh no, actually I'll probably say like 60-40, 60% Zen.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
but it is the way this thing drives that pulls it back.
Sure.
And actually it's refreshing to see a manufacturer build a car that looks like this as standard, because the likes of the RS3, the A45, the Golf R are seriously understated.
They're pretty sensible, aren't they?
And pretty conservative.
Well, what's cool about this is I like that it most definitely does not take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you approach it, I think your mindset is already geared up for fun.
Yeah.
Which I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
I think this is a wicked car, and I do think that there is a market for it, and I would own one if it was all blacked out. I think it would look super cool.
The fact that you said that says it all.
Yeah.
You would own one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Job done.
3 days in. Yeah. Well, I don't really know where to go this video. I can kind of end. I think it's fair to say that Mr. JWW and I got a little bit carried away. We nearly ran out of fuel, and I had a consecutive 30-minute GoPro file that I needed to edit down into a compact and fun, informative video talking about the Civic Type R. And to be honest, I think now, having experienced this car, understanding what it is about, how this car starts up in sport mode with everything a little bit raw, gives you the option for comfort if you did not want to have your bones shattered whilst driving through the city, but then you can open this car up with R+ and it becoming a completely different beast. What Honda have done, and they've just extended the breadth of ability, and I love that phrase because it is happening more and more with cars. And whilst the die-hard Type R fanboys are going to be a little bit frustrated at the fact that it has got a comfort mode, it allows Honda to open up to new markets of people that are looking for a bit of day-to-day fun. They can still shove their kids in the back. They can have a family car with hot hatch performance, and that is why at £33,500 for this exact car, the Civic Type R GT, it is the best car that you can buy for under £35,000. And just looking at this spec sheet, the only thing that disappoints me about what this thing says is the colour of this thing. The colour is called Brilliant Sporty Blue. They've had so much imagination on how this car looks, how this car drives, and how this is going to make the driver feel when you drive in this car. And then they've just called the colour brilliant sporty blue. What Honda have achieved with this car, yes, it is a little bit wacky looking, but I said with Mr. JWW, if you spec this car in black, it would look like a Batmobile on the road. And that is one of the reasons why I love this car so much. I've had it for 3 days and I've still got 4 more days driving it, and I'm probably going to put about 400, 500 more miles on this car, and it is just a load of fun. Thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment box below whether you would buy a Civic Type R or would you buy the Focus RS, because I think those are the 2 cars that directly rival each other, and I would have one of these. So that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.